Hello, everybody. I'm Slice. Welcome to today's Hytale discussion. Will Hytale be free? Will it be paid? How will you spend your money in Hytale? In this video, I jump through some thoughts about this topic and give my take on what I think Hytale's financial model will be like. When asked if Hytale would be free or paid, the team replied with, "We're still finalizing the exact details of the business model. When that's done, we'll share more details." The thing is, that was 4 years ago, and during the time when the team was sharing a lot of information. Now, I fully expect the team had every intention on sharing the financial model with us within a few years, since the original release window was in 2021, but over time, the Hytale Studios team pulled back on what they were willing to share and when. So the question becomes, is that bad? No, I don't think it is. Okay, so why pull back? Why not stick to their previous promises of sharing? I believe this team needed to curtail public expectations, like full stop. What this means is that some previous promises are naturally going to fall short or simply not be addressed. Now, there could be numerous reasons for this. Maybe it could bloat the game from too many public requests or implementations. We just have too many good ideas that we want to see implemented. Perhaps there undesirable pressure on the team. Okay, we put forth a lot of ideas. That puts pressure on the team because then they are expected to implement a lot more ideas. Not only that, but the team themselves, they need as much freedom as they can get if we want Hytale to be the best that it can be. Unless I've missed it, which is very possible, this particular bit of information has not been revisited. We have not heard from the team regarding Hytale's financial model in 4 years. Now, that has slightly changed, but I'll get to that later. This doesn't necessarily mean that they haven't decided. They almost certainly have by this point in development, but this leaves me with a hefty concern on what Hytale's financial model will be. Some games have proven to be rather hungry in terms of wanting money, and perhaps rightfully so. There are some that just simply nail it. Will Hytale nail it? That's what we're going to discuss. Now, we know that Hytale is divided into 3 pillars: adventure mode, minigames, and creative. This allows the team to really play around with the financial model and sort of cater to loads of different interests, styles, personalities, and preferences. Adventure mode is going to be a story-driven sandbox game. Think like Minecraft, Terraria, Valheim, Ark Survival Evolved. These games usually have a pay-to-own financial model. You pay one time and you can play it. Now, those games might have DLCs, they might have other micro DLCs, but they're typically speaking a one-time purchase. We also have mini games. In Hypixel history specifically, this has been free to play. Mini games are augmented by marketplace purchases, such as like in-game currencies like sky gems or gold. Now, those typically are various buffs for PvE game enhancements, so we could see that in Hytale. Now, the third pillar is creative play, or what I'd like to consider the SimCity of block games. Now, this is going to let you craft your own world like creative Minecraft, combined with MC Edit, if you know what that means. Tools like this are usually monetized as a purchase to own, though some have been pay to continue to use. So let's do a bit of crafting and build some theories. We know Hytale has 3 parts. All 3 could be pay to own, all 3 could be free to play, or somewhere between those extremes. Let's say all 3 pillars are free to play. This would mean there would need to be a lot of microtransactions to pay for Hytale. Let's be honest. Hytale is not a cheap game to actually produce. So perhaps we do pay to unlock something like color palettes like Warframe, perhaps unique skins or skill animations like Apex Legends, or perhaps just like Hypixel, maybe there's going to be a marketplace while it's free to play. Does this work for Hytale? Perhaps. The unique color palettes for crafting equipment, building in unique colors, or even within the character creator, sure, that could work. However, I don't think so. Well, simply because modding is going to be a thing. Okay, so what about unique skins? I don't think so here either, because the character creator already is going to give each user the power to create such drastic differences in their characters. Perhaps paid texture packs, but again, I doubt it. Probably not, because Hytale is being built to be moddable, as I've said before. Now, modding in Hytale is a whole other video in itself, but there might be some issue with this based on how Hytale is being made. So because of this, I'd say unique skins are a possibility, but I wouldn't bet money on it. Okay, so what about unique animations? No, I don't think so here either. Why? Well, I feel like the level of balancing for PvP and PvE is well outside of the scope for Hytale and what I pictured Hytale to be aiming for. Now, unique color palettes for stock animations? Now that is very possible, and I would actually really love to see this level of customization come to Hytale. I've seen this done in games like City of Heroes, and the customization is astounding. Now, again, Hytale is going to be moddable, so another aspect to think about is free-to-play in general makes a barrier to entry very easy for people. All they have to do is create an account and join. People can dive into a game without any financial burden or stress and not be concerned with losing their investment, because there isn't any. I've seen this cultivate cheating. People can cheat, get banned, come right back, cheat all over again, and unless, of course, they are hardware banned, which from what I've seen doesn't typically happen, they're just going to keep doing it. Now let's say all three pillars are pay to own. This means one upfront fee to be able to access all three sections of the game. Seems reasonable, right? Okay, well, let's say $20 for each section. Hytale becomes a $60 game. Not so reasonable anymore. For some, that's a hefty investment. Also, with this kind of investment, the fan base would likely get very angry if there were then additional fees for piecemeal content. Think the marketplace, microtransactions within a game that you already paid for. That could leave a sour taste in a lot of people's mouth. To go back on a previous example, in this scenario, we wouldn't likely see additional unique color palettes for sale because of that. This would be at the discretion of modders, or perhaps as part of DLC. Oh no, DLC? No, hold up. Let's not burn the house down, and, not Quebecs either. DLC isn't as bad as you might think, at least not in a monetary sense. Look at Ark Survival Evolved. Each expansion is massive, with loads of content ranging from new dinos, new story, and a new map. Now, think about how that could translate into Hytale. New map? Creative is going to be an easy way to create a ton of maps for free for the community and by the community. Adventure is likely procedurally generated and not really much you can add to that. The story of Orbis could expand with new zones, though I can't really see this being DLC gated. How about minigames? This would restrict and split fan base, I think, based on what content they bought. And from experience in other games, that doesn't pan out too well. Let's keep something in mind. Hytale devs have already stood strong about being inclusive and not developing in such a way that would exclude their fans. This is precisely why we've had delays. Precisely. They want to include more people across numerous platforms. For this next piece of information, I have to give a huge thanks to Hugo. I would not have seen this as soon as I did if not for his Hytale Tracker. Link in the description down below. A new job listing was noticed on January 11th of 2023 for Games as a Service architecture. Now, what that means is that there's going to be some form of after purchase transaction available. This could mean month to month, could mean marketplace, could mean DLCs. We don't know because the description was not precise. Okay, so how's this going to pan out in my head? Well, I believe one of 3 sections will be free to play to encourage folks to join. Give them a taste of Hytale and then have them pay for the other sections. Personally, I think creative and adventure will be packaged into one in roughly a $30 to $40 game, while mini games will be made free to play. The reason for this is because it allows the game's immediate monetization and immediate influx of players, as well as additional waves of new players after the fact. This will allow the Hytale team to have some minor cosmetic related packages, as well as go as deep as having full-on content DLCs. They might even have ways to do marketplaces. Okay, so where will Hytale get revenue from? First, initial game sales. This will most likely be the majority of upfront revenue for the team. Second, purchases of consumables such as boosters or in-game currencies like gems, which if you're familiar with Hypixel, you know that they already have that. Now this is for mini games hosted by the Hytale team. So think of the mini games world with a mini games marketplace. Third, perhaps new development tools only usable within Creative World. Now, if you recall, in a previous clip that they've showed, they had a above the world type view, camera view, and what you could do is like you were painting with a tool, and what was happening was that it was creating a ravine in a section of the world that you've already created, and in that ravine was lava. Maybe more unique tools like that could come. Maybe they're piecemeal in the marketplace. Now I'm going to push the question off to you. What do you think Hytale's financial models will be like? Are there purchases you'd like to see? Are there purchases you would avoid at all costs? Will you craze and buy everything, or simply buy onesies, twosies? Let me know down below. And that's going to be it for me. We're going to leave it here. If you'd like to help the community, please consider dropping a like on this video and sharing with your friends. Don't forget to click the subscribe button for future videos. And if you'd like to follow to stay up to date, check the links down below so you can follow on your preferred platform. We have a Discord you can join where I'll be posting most frequently. Please drop a comment to let me know what you think. And thanks for chilling.